Wait a minute. That's too sudden. You like this, don't you? She wouldn't do this for you. Don't say that, sis. Call me by my name, like you always do. I was standing in front of the bedroom door. It dawned on me right then that my husband's lover was my own sister. A rage boiled within me, and I pinched my hand to calm the urge to burst in. I need to keep my cool. I decided to pull out my smartphone and start recording the conversation. Never would I have guessed that she was the other woman. I realized something was off when I got home. I'm home. There was a pair of women's shoes at the entrance that I didn't recognize. I instantly knew he had brought a woman home. Hearing voices from the bedroom upstairs, I moved quickly to the door. Their voices were loud enough to fill the house, indicating they were still enjoying themselves. But why did you choose this house today? Because it's more thrilling, isn't it? I guess so, but we usually meet at our parents' place. We were careful not to get caught before. Well, she is so clueless she never noticed. You're right about that. She'd never imagine us doing this. Such a fool. Now I understood why I hadn't noticed their affair. They had been meeting secretly at our parents' house. Still, I continued to record, thinking this would serve as evidence. I wondered what our parents would think upon hearing this. It was the only way to keep my sanity. I considered confronting them, but my feet wouldn't move. Entering the room meant witnessing them in the act. Something I instinctively didn't want to see. Hey, when are you going to give me a child? No, that would be bad. Your husband would find out. It'll be fine. If you sleep with him later, he won't suspect a thing. He's so oblivious. What a terrible wife. Not as bad as you. Listening to their conversation made my head ache and brought on nausea. I was at my limit. I decided to call out to my husband. Where are you? Realizing my presence, they panicked, and I heard the sound of a window opening. They probably tried to hide on the balcony. But that was the worst decision they could make. Because, of all days, it was heavily snowing today. Well, that was a mistake. I slowly entered the room. Clothes were scattered all over. They had gone outside completely naked. Looking out, I saw them trying to hide at the edge, curled up small. I immediately locked the door. Now, I was thinking about what kind of punishment to give them. I never thought I'd be this thrilled. My name is Emma. I'm 34 years old and I work in sales at a local company. I lived with my husband, Tom, who is 3 years older than me. I met Tom while on a sales visit. In my mid-20s, I had just changed jobs and was still getting used to the work. I remember how kindly he treated me, even then. Thank you very much. Not at all. Keep up the good work. Yes. At that time, I just thought he was a nice person. It took some time before we met again, but it turned out to be a fateful encounter. I have an older sister named Amelia, and it turned out that Tom was one of her classmates in both high school and college. Amelia had gotten married 3 years ago, and Tom was one of the attendees at her wedding. Do you remember me? From the sales visit. Right. Who would have thought we'd meet here? Excuse me, but how do you know my sister? Amelia and I were classmates in high school and college. I see. As we chatted amiably, the day's main character, my sister, came over. Huh? You two know each other? Well, from work. No, it wasn't any trouble. But thanks to you, I managed to secure a contract. That must have been because of your own skills. As this back and forth continued, my sister began to laugh. What's so funny? Just thinking you two seem to get along pretty well. Don't tease me. I'm quite serious, actually. Thanks to my sister's mediation, Tom and I exchanged contact information. However, my sister can be quite pushy, so I thought Tom might have been bothered by it. But about a week after exchanging contacts, he called. Hello? Sorry for calling out of the blue. It's okay. What's up? What is it? how about we go out for dinner sometime? Yes, sure. I found myself agreeing reflexively. I'll call you back then. And with that, the call ended. I wasn't opposed to the idea, but it was too late to decline. To be honest, I didn't have much experience with romance and didn't know what to do. It was just dinner, but I was still nervous. At that time, I was still living at my parents' house, so I decided to consult with my sister. Even after getting married, she wanted to stay living with our parents, so she remained at home. Wow, you got asked out. That's great. No, it's not about being great. I have no experience with this kind of thing. Then, you did the right thing by coming to me for advice. My sister Amelia has always been popular. During our school days, she brought various guys home. I thought I could get some good advice from her, but that was a mistake. Even though she had calmed down after becoming an adult, she enjoyed forcing her opinions on me, the more introverted one. And how many times that made me cry. Emma, just go with the flow. With me around, you have nothing to worry about. So, what should I do? Well, how about flirting a bit? Huh? Tom is weak for that kind of thing. Wait. I'm just going to have dinner. What are you saying? It won't just end with dinner. And so, Amelia kept giving off-target advice. And the problem wasn't just her. Our parents doted on Amelia, so in a way, she did whatever she wanted. They preferred her, who got easily flattered, over the hard-to-handle me. I really wanted to move out right after graduating college, but they wouldn't allow it. They wanted to keep me close, even though they weren't particularly interested. And then the day of the dinner came. Good luck. Okay, I'm off. I think the dinner went well, ultimately. It was a lot more enjoyable than feeling cramped at home. If it's okay with you, could we meet again? If you're fine with someone like me, please. That's great. I'm not very used to women, you know. If you say that, I'm even less used to men. No, I'm definitely less experienced. No, it's me. While we were having this exchange, we ended up laughing together. It had been a long time since I had so much fun. It was only natural for us, gradually getting closer, to start dating. However, Amelia wasn't pleased about it. Despite having egged me on so much. What? You're really dating? Yes, but I never thought you'd actually date. Did you follow my advice? Of course not. How did this happen? The reason behind Amelia's failure to stir things up would come from an unexpected person. Really? Is that so? That person was Samuel, Amelia's husband. Yeah. It's true. You know I met Amelia in college, right? Yes, I've heard from my sister. I became good friends with Tom then. It seems he liked her since high school but never got a chance since Tom had a girlfriend at the time. But why are you telling me this? I overheard you talking the other day. But, you know, she's not all bad. My brother-in-law, Samuel, had a somewhat sad look on his face. He truly cared about Amelia. Yet, Amelia was still obsessing over a man she liked in the past. And this situation was deeper and more serious than I had thought, leading to unbelievable circumstances. We started dating without issues, but Amelia began to constantly check on my activities. Her behavior was abnormal, coming to my room and not leaving until she heard an answer that satisfied her. So, what else? Well, when you say what else, I don't know what you mean. Like, for example, going to a hotel or something. I don't know about that. This was my little act of rebellion. After that, Amelia calmed down. A year had passed since Tom and I started dating. On my birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. This is my birthday present for you. What is it? Inside the small box was a beautiful ring. Is this? I want you to marry me. I'm so happy. Please, take good care of me. I will make you happy. I was over the moon when I accepted the proposal. Not just because I would be with Tom, but but also because I could finally leave my parents' house. We kept our excitement in check and went to greet both families. Tom's parents welcomed us more warmly than I had expected. The problem was my family. So, Emma is getting married. I welcome Tom. Thank you. Even my parents, who had not been very interested in me, seemed genuinely happy. But Amelia couldn't keep quiet. What? You're not going to live here? Amelia, what are you saying? You guys live together. We don't have any extra rooms, and that's just not possible. Then we could remodel or something. There are plenty of ways. Don't be unreasonable. We can't do that. Amelia was unusually anxious. Well, this was part of my plan. After that, Amelia desperately tried to keep me in the house. Enough already. It's not our place to say anything. Stay out of this. You. Samuel seemed taken aback by Amelia's antics. Anyway, we're going to look for a house of our own. Right? Yeah, that's right. So, we're going to look for a house of our own. If you two have decided, then that's what you should do. Thank you. I'll never forget the look of frustration on Amelia's face when I left home. Now that I could leave my parents' house, I found some peace for a while. Though it was in the next city, we decided to rent a house for a bargain. I never imagined being with the person I love could bring so much happiness. Even though we lived apart, we would gather at my parents' house for the holidays and New Year's. It was just a few months, but I had never been away from home for so long, so I felt a bit nervous. I'm home. Welcome back. You're home. Yeah. Where's Amelia? She went shopping. Mother-in-law, it's been a while. Tom, you look well. Come in. Sitting on the living room sofa, they brought out an abundance of snacks. We can't eat all this. Well, it's been a while. But it's only been a few months. Don't be shy. I hadn't expected such a warm welcome since Amelia was always the priority. Then, Amelia and Samuel returned from shopping. Emma, you're here. It's been a while. I greeted them, but Amelia ignored me and went straight to the kitchen. Tom, long time no see. Gained some weight? No, Emma's cooking is just too good. That's good to hear. You look happy. Thanks to you. The family gathered, enjoying tea and conversation. Normally, Amelia was talkative, but she was quiet today. After about an hour, my mother noticed something. By the way, did you buy the usual sweets from the store in front of the station? I forgot. Really, be more careful. But it's not like we need. What are you saying? It's a tradition. What should we do? Can we still make it if we go now? Then, Tom offered to go. I'll go. We came by car today. But that's too much trouble. No, please, let me do this. Sorry, I'll be back soon. Okay. As Tom was getting ready, Amelia insisted on going with him. It's my fault for forgetting, and Tom might not know what to buy. Let's go. Amelia hurried out, pulling Tom by the arm. Seeing them leave, my father let out a heavy sigh. What's wrong? Lately, something seems off. She's very forgetful, and overall, she seems to lack motivation. Even my sister Amelia, who used to be doted upon so much, now seems to be treated as a nuisance. My brother-in-law, Samuel, also seemed a bit worn out. It means that the roles between my sister and me had reversed since I moved out. An awkward silence followed. It's only about a 10-minute drive to the station. Yet, it was taking too long. My mother was the first to notice. It's taking unusually long, isn't it? Indeed. It's been over an hour now. An indescribable anxiety hit me. Eventually, they returned home 30 minutes later. You took your time. The roads were a bit congested. Did you get what you went for? We did. Amelia handed over the bag she had brought back. However, my mother stopped moving as she looked inside. What's this? That's what we were asked to get. Where did you go? This is completely different. I understand Tom might not know, but you were with him. Never mind. My mother looked tired. It doesn't matter anyway. I could hear her mutter under her breath. Moreover, upon closer inspection, Amelia's hair was more disheveled than before she left. I observed my sister carefully. It seemed Samuel did the same. Our eyes met briefly. It felt like he wanted to say something to me. What are you even doing? Despite the family gathering, the atmosphere couldn't be worse. Why did it have to turn out like this? Thus, the holiday passed in an awkward atmosphere. Returning home, I felt all the accumulated tiredness surge at once. I ended up falling asleep on the sofa, only to be awakened by Tom talking on the phone. It's fine. It won't be found out. I called out to Tom. Who are you talking to? Tom looked startled and then hung up the phone. Coming over to me. Did you wake up? Who was that? A colleague from work. That sounded quite friendly for a colleague. As I pressed on, I could sense him getting increasingly irritated. Lying won't get you anywhere. What do you want to say? Nothing. Thinking we were getting nowhere, I tried to end the conversation, but Tom wouldn't let go of my arm. Do you doubt me? What is it? Tom, usually seen as gentle, had a look in his eyes like he was possessed by something. It hurts. Let go. Then will you stop doubting me? I'll do as you say. Finally, he let go of my arm. When I looked at my arm, the mark was still clearly visible. From that moment, I began to fear Tom. 2 months later, I was on my way to the hospital after a call from my mother. My father had missed a step on the stairs at home and fractured his bone. Are you okay? Yeah, somehow. You missed a step? Really did something stupid. My father would be discharged from the hospital in a few months, but he would need family support at home until he fully recovered. I felt relieved because Samuel was with us, but unfortunately, he was scheduled for a business trip for 2 months. That day, the family gathered at the house. I'm sorry to leave the house at such a time. Well, it can't be helped. Don't worry about me and just do your best. Yes. But what should we do? My back is also bad. Then, I will. Tom interrupted, offering to take care of my father himself. I'll take care of Dad. Really? You have work too. It must be hard, right? I can't come every day, but I can make it on weekends. But you're newlyweds, aren't you? Emma is okay with it, right? Having a man around is better. Let's do it this way. But, do you not care what happens to Dad? I didn't say that. Seeing that we were not getting anywhere, I reluctantly accepted Tom's offer. Unaware it was the beginning of the worst scenario. From then on, Tom would head to my parents' house every Saturday. At the same time, I started noticing a sweet scent on Tom. I didn't miss it. Doesn't it smell sweet? Do you think so? Like perfume? Perfume! I could tell that Tom's face contorted. I was certain he was hiding something. I kept pressing with questions. But I feel like I've smelled it somewhere before. Where was it? I asked deliberately. It's probably your imagination. Really? You don't know? You're being persistent. I don't know anything about women's perfume. I didn't miss his statement. Nobody said anything about it being women's. How did you know? Most sweet-smelling stuff is for women, right? It was a weak excuse. Tell me what you know. In that moment, something whizzed past my face. I hesitantly looked behind me. There, a mug lay shattered in pieces. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I sat down abruptly on the spot. It didn't hit me, but the thought of what could have happened made my hands tremble uncontrollably. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. It was just a reflex. I didn't know how to respond. I was reminded of the fear I had felt before. From that moment on, I felt my life was in danger and couldn't confront Tom as strongly as I wanted. My state of mind was reset by a phone call. My father's condition improved, and though it was still awkward, he could walk without crutches. I found out during a phone call. "How are you feeling?" "Much better." "That's good to hear. By the way, how's Tom?" "He's been a big help. Very considerate." Hearing that brought me a bit of relief. "Right. Samuel wants your contact info. Is it okay to give it to him?" "That's fine." "But why?" We hadn't exchanged contact information before. Simply, there hadn't been an opportunity. The call from my brother-in-law came that night. "Sorry for calling out of the blue." "It's fine. Aren't you coming back soon?" "Yeah. In about 2 weeks, I guess." "I see. About why I asked for your contact." He began to explain. "What do you mean?" "I've been concerned for a while. I couldn't say it until now. To be honest, I've been concerned too." "Emma, you felt that way too, huh?" "I'm sorry. But what should we do?" "That's exactly it. Then, I'll also be cautious about both of them." "I should be the one doing it, but I can't be there." "I'll let you know immediately if I find out anything." "Sorry." "Thank you." I felt a bit relieved knowing my brother-in-law, Samuel, shared my concerns. We couldn't just do nothing. So, I decided to investigate Tom's detailed actions. I quickly arranged for someone to look into it and just had to wait for the results. I wanted to sort things out before Samuel returned, not just for my sake. "What do you mean by that?" I had arranged for a week-long investigation, but it turned up nothing suspicious. During the weekdays, Tom went to work and came back as usual. On weekends, he would go to my father's house from morning till night as part of his routine. I shared these facts with Samuel. "So, that was it. Was it just a misunderstanding?" "Maybe. It should be a relief that nothing was wrong, but it still feels odd." "I get it. It's like an incomplete feeling, isn't it? Maybe because we doubted him from the start." We decided to carry on with our normal lives, relieved that nothing had happened. There was 1 week left until Samuel's return. 2 days later, my father was able to do things on his own, marking the end of Tom's support. "Thanks for all your hard work." "Yeah, thank you." "You seem down." "Not really." His words and expression were mismatched. And so, a week passed without any change. On Saturday at noon, I got a call from my parents. "We hate to ask, but can you come over now?" "I can, but what's up?" "There's something we need your help with." "Okay, I understand." I quickly told Tom about it. "My parents asked me to come over, so I'll be heading out." "Oh, really?" "Yeah." "Got it. Take your time." Okay." I thought he seemed a bit too pleased. There was a forecast for heavy snow today. "I wish they hadn't asked me to come over on such a day." When I arrived at my parents' house, both of them greeted me together. "It's cold." "So, what's up?" "Well, first, just sit down." Then, it was endless small talk. "By the way, where's Amelia?" "Amelia went out before you arrived." "Something about meeting a friend." "What? On a day like this? Wait, what did you need from me?" What was it again, Mom?" "I don't know." "What was it?" "What? If there's nothing, I'm going home." "You came all this way. Stay a bit longer." At that moment, my parents seemed desperate to keep me there. Eventually, more time passed, and the clock struck 5. "It's snowing quite hard now. Maybe you can't go back. Should you call Tom just in case?" "Eh? Well, you might not be able to return home." "Then, I'll do that." As my father suggested, I called Tom. Tom quickly ended the call, saying it couldn't be helped. But I had a strange feeling of unease. When I called earlier, It sounded like there was noise coming from somewhere else. Once the thought crossed my mind, I couldn't stop worrying. Sorry, I'm actually going to head back. Oh, is that so? Well, if you must. Be careful. Yeah. Outside, it seemed about 5 centimeters of snow had already accumulated. Shivering from the cold, I hurried home. I'm back. The moment I opened the front door, I sensed something was off. I found women's shoes that clearly weren't mine. I immediately knew he had brought a woman home. Then, hearing voices from the bedroom upstairs, I headed straight for the door. Wait a minute. That's too sudden. You like this, don't you? She wouldn't do this for you. Don't say that, sis. Call me by my name, like you always do. Besides, you've never called me sister-in-law, have you? At that moment, I realized that Tom's partner was indeed my sister Amelia. A rage boiled within me, and I pinched my hand to calm the urge to burst in. I need to keep my cool. I took out my smartphone and started recording the conversation. I never would have guessed that she was the other woman. Their voices, indicating they were still enjoying themselves, echoed throughout the house. But why did you choose this house today? Because it's more exciting, and we haven't seen each other recently. That's true, but we usually meet at our parents' place. We've been careful not to get caught before. Well, she's so clueless she never noticed. You're right about that. She'd never imagine us doing this. Such a fool. I understood why I hadn't noticed their affair until now. I never imagined they were meeting secretly at our parents' house. I had suspected their relationship, but thought it impossible for them to do such a thing in a place with our parents. That's why the investigation I requested showed nothing unusual. Still, thinking it would serve as evidence, I continued to record. I wondered what our parents would think if they heard this. I had to do it to keep my sanity. I thought about confronting them, but my feet wouldn't move. Entering would mean seeing them in the act, which I instinctively didn't want to see. Hey, when are you going to give me a child? No, that would be bad. Your husband would find out, right? It's okay. If you sleep with him later, he won't suspect a thing. He's so oblivious. What a terrible wife. Not as bad as you. Plus, he won't be back until tomorrow. Meeting up is going to be hard, so it's okay, right? All right. Listening to their conversation made my head ache and brought on nausea. I was at my limit. I decided to call out to my husband. Where are you? Realizing my presence, they seemed to panic and I heard the sound of a window opening. They probably tried to hide on the balcony. But that was the worst decision they could make. Well, that was a mistake. I slowly entered the room. Clothes were scattered everywhere. They had gone outside completely naked. Looking out, I saw them trying to hide at the edge, curled up small. I immediately locked the door. Now, I was thinking about what kind of punishment to give them. I left the bedroom and went downstairs. Heading to the kitchen, I slowly made coffee. After finishing the coffee, I returned to the bedroom. While looking towards the balcony and sipping my coffee, they knocked on the window. Open this up! I'm going to freeze to death out here! Of course, I ignored all such nonsense. Then, I had a good idea. I picked up my smartphone and made a call. First to my parents and Tom's parents, saying it was an emergency and somehow got them to come over. The last person was my brother-in-law, Samuel. I remembered he was supposed to return today. It was good timing. I was about to contact you. Oh, really? Are you at home? Yes, I am. Did you call because something happened? Yes, actually. I thought revealing everything now would spoil the surprise. So, I should come to your house, right? Yes, to my house. I just arrived at the station, so I'll be there soon. See you. With that, all the pieces were in place. The only thing that puzzled me was Samuel's reaction. It was as if he understood too well what was happening here. Since I couldn't figure it out, I decided to wait for everyone to arrive. Our parents arrived, and I asked them to wait in the living room. 10 minutes later, Samuel arrived. Sorry, I'm late. The roads were jammed with this snow. No, it's fine. Please, this way. And so, the family gathered in the living room. What's the emergency? We rushed here through the snow. Are we going to talk about it now? It's about the two who aren't here. It's understandable if Amelia isn't here, but Tom seems to be missing. That's right. Would you come with me? I led everyone to the bedroom. What is this? Look over there. Pointing towards the balcony, the naked duo was staring back at us. What's going on? Thinking it was too dangerous to leave them out any longer, I unlocked the door. I thought I was going to die. Can we get something warm, please? I threw blankets at the two. Someone had better explain what this is about. My father, blood rushing to his head, looked ready to explode. The two were having an affair. My sister, looking up at Samuel in shock, asked, Why are you here? I came back from my business trip today. That can't be. You told me you were coming back tomorrow. I had heard it was today. After all, Samuel was here. Confusion set in. Then Samuel began to explain the truth. I had predicted something like this might happen and had been planning accordingly. Lying to you was part of the plan. Samuel looked at me. Sorry, Emma. I had to use you too. Huh? According to my brother-in-law, Samuel, he had asked our parents for cooperation. That's why I was suddenly told to come to my parents' house. It was Samuel's instruction that my father kept me there. So, you knew about their relationship? No, it was just a suspicion. I couldn't believe it when Emma reported it to me. I'm sorry. I never thought they would do such a thing at my parents' house. In hindsight, when my father broke his leg and needed care, Tom was eager to volunteer first. Well, let's leave the explanations at that and think about what to do with these fools who fell for the trap. The two kept their heads down, unwilling to talk. So, I decided to let everyone listen to the recording. If you don't want to talk, I'll make it so you can. What are you planning to do? This. When I played the recording, the voices of the two filled the bedroom, clearly indicating what they had been doing. Stop it! You're not in a position to say that. Listen to it all. Everyone's look turned to contempt. What a joke! You are no longer part of this family. Perhaps it was a mistake to pour so much love into you. Don't ever show your face here again. See? Tom looked like he was about to cry but desperately bowed his head to my parents-in-law, me, and my father. I never thought she was that kind of woman. I noticed you were hung up on Tom, but I genuinely loved you. I felt the same way too. Hey! Who said you could talk? Hatred filled Samuel's eyes. The intensity was almost enough to make one cry. So, what will you two do now? What do you think? Well, divorce is certain. And then there's the matter of compensation. Should we throw them outside again? Hearing this, the two made their last stand. The root cause is you being busy with work and not paying attention to me. That's no excuse for having an affair. If you're going to argue, make it logical. You're just exposing your stupidity. Or should I say, it's already exposed. My sister couldn't utter a word. Anything else you want to say? Monkey? I was just led astray by Amelia. Really? Blaming me? You were all in. You even invited me to a hotel that time. That time? When we went shopping together. Ah. I remembered there was such an incident during Oban. Everything must have started from there. I just wanted to ask, why did you lure Tom? I was just irritated to see you looking so happy. I've always struggled with men. So, you were jealous because the man you used to like ended up with me. That's right. How stupid. This monkey isn't worth it. Maybe you should face reality. All I could do was laugh. That's enough. Being involved with these people will only make us stupid. Let's all go. Wait, please! Don't talk to me so casually. We slowly closed the bedroom door behind us. The snow outside was getting stronger. Staying here wasn't an option, so we headed to the nearest house, our home. On the way, I couldn't help but wonder what would become of the two who were now ostracized by the family. My parents-in-law stayed the night and left the next day. Then, they apologized again and declared that Tom would from now on be a stranger to them. Shall we go? Yes. Together, we went to consult about the divorce and compensation. Having the recording made the process much easier. We were able to get the divorce quickly and file for compensation. And today was the day Samuel moved out of the family home. Thank you for everything. You were like a son to us. It'll be lonely. Indeed. If it weren't for this, you two should have gotten married. Stop it, please. During such a peaceful time, those two showed up. And for some reason, Tom had shaved his head, perhaps as a sign of repentance. Which was so ridiculous I almost laughed. What are you doing here? Then, both of them apologized deeply at the same time. We've been disowned by our parents. You're the only one we can turn to now, Emma. Please. I thought I told you never to show your faces here again. My dad's right. Besides, we're divorced now. In other words, we're strangers. If you understand, then leave quickly. But they still wouldn't give up. Even if you do this, it's just a nuisance. Stop showing us such a disgraceful sight. I can't stand to watch any longer. Then, Samuel offered his hand to Amelia. Are you going to help? Watching this, I was nervous. Help? What misunderstanding do you have? I just wanted you to move because you're in the way. Trying not to laugh at Amelia's stunned face was a struggle. My stomach started to hurt from holding in the laughter. So, that's the situation. You better go back home. It looks like my dad's at his limit. My father was standing with his arms crossed, looking somewhat proud. Seeing this, the two scurried away like fleeing animals. Finally gone, huh? Then, I'll be off too. You can come over whenever you like, you know. Since that incident, I've been living at my parents' house. Also, I've kept in touch with Samuel, and we occasionally go out for drinks. What the future holds, I'm not sure, but I'm certain it will be enjoyable.